Rightio guys, how you doing? Hey, so now we're going to do a recipe for a chickpea and kale curry, yeah? So I hope your gardens are going well. We've just gone out and we've got some beautiful greens, and we're using the curly kale and the cavolo nero, which is another beautiful winter vegetable. We can also put in any of the silver beets and the ruby chard that we had left over from the last one that we did. If they're growing well, chuck them in there as well. I'm just going to run through these ingredients with you, and then we're going to quickly we'll quickly cook some rice as well, okay? Because that's obviously going to be delicious with. Now, simple things, right away. Let's start off. We've obviously got the curly kale, the cavolo. We've got some Greek yogurt. Now, I've just got a mix of spices here. You can use the curry spice. So the King's curry spice, no worries. Extra chili if you like that. The chickpeas. Now we're using the canned chickpeas. You can soak some if you want to soak them overnight and cook them, that's fine, that's no problem. But also, once again, simple, fast is getting those chickpeas out of the can, and they're fine, yeah. Diced potatoes, rice, some garlic, and we're going to finish it with a squeeze of lemon just to freshen up. And that's basically all you're going to need to make this really simple curry. Okay guys, so we're also going to cook the rice. So we've got a basmati rice, and this is a very simple, easy way of cooking rice, yeah? Important things, wash your rice. So I just use a sieve under the water, give it a good wash, get your hands in there and wash it into boiling water. Now I do 1 cup of rice, I'll put 4 cups of water, boiling water, yeah? Into heavily boiling water with a little bit of salt in there. Boil it for 10 minutes, strain it, done. So what we're going to do now, we've washed our curly kale, but unlike the silver beet and the ruby chard, you can't really use the stems because they're too woody. So we just pull all the leaves off on the curly kale, chuck that in the compost, give it to the chooks, the cavolo, just pull it off like that, yeah? So once again, out the garden, and then once you've got those greens there, we will just give it a quick chop. Oops. Yeah, it doesn't have to be too accurate. And that's going to be going into the curry later on. Okay, so we've got our ingredients over here now. Once again, we're going to cook these onions off first. So we've got that olive oil in there into a hot pan, because we really want to. And the garlic, so we've got the onions and the garlic, and we really want to cook that down. Start to get that sweetness out of them. We're going to add our curry spices. So I've got coriander and cumin in there. But once again, as I was saying, that's about a tablespoon. About a teaspoon of turmeric, maybe just give them 2 teaspoons of turmeric, that's good. I like it hot, so I'm going to put in a teaspoon of chili. And we're just going to fry that off. And because we've got quite a bit of oil in there, that's going to help fry that right off. Potatoes, in they go. Fry those off for a couple of minutes. Get that flavour happening in there. Then after a couple of minutes, we're going to put our chickpeas in there. So a couple of cans of chickpeas, and they're already nice and soft, so we're not having to worry too much about those for cooking them. But we just want them to start to absorb all those beautiful spices in there. At this point, we're going to add our yogurt. Now, use a Greek yogurt or a natural yogurt. Nice big dollop of that. And we'll just mix all that in. And that will actually break down a little bit. The yogurt will soften and become a little bit liquid. Now, you can at that point, if it's still a little bit thick, you can put a splash of water in there, just a little bit, just to help that along. And then, once that's all mixing there, now we're just going to bring that up to a gentle simmer. And we're going to simmer it for a couple of minutes. Rightio, so the chickpeas now have been simmering away for about 5 minutes, and we're just going to start to get our greens to fold through there, okay? And they're just going to be wilted down in the heat of the curry. Okay guys, so we've just finished that now. So what we have here then is the potato and chickpea curry with some kale, obviously our rice, and what I'm going to do is just finish that, pick a little bit of greens from the garden, and we're going to finish that. So there we go.
You call this greens? This is not greens, Vinnie.
Whoa.
Come on out of the kitchen. I like my greens straight. Lots of greens, and we're going to just saute them, have them as they are with a bit of onion, garlic, ginger, soy sauce, and a weird little ingredient that I take from my home of California, tahini. It's really just peanut butter, but it's made out of sesame seeds instead of peanuts. Are you ready? Here we go. Bit of olive oil. We're gonna throw in some onions. Give those a bit of a stir. Get the garlic in. And the ginger. Then throw in the stems and the hard bits of the greens because they take a little longer. Bit of soy sauce. And my favorite old friend from California hippie days, some tahini. Stir, stir, stir. Add a bit of water. And throw in the greens. And then I like to cover it, if I had a cover. And just let it simmer for a minute. That ought to be good. That is going to be so delicious. Smells so yummy. Delicious. Scoop it onto your plate. A little pretty arrangement. I'd eat that.
Guess I'd eat that.